Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Make Dreams Happen. Happy Labor Day. Yeah, I'm recording this episode on Labor Day, so I'm so happy because today is a super relaxed day, and I'm super excited because today is a different episode. So I had a special guest today. We're gonna be talking about his career and all the good things that he's doing on his service to the community. And so his name is Steven. So and now I'm gonna bring him back. Hello, Steven. How are you?
Good morning, Joseph. I'm good. Happy Labor Day.
Yeah, happy Labor Days. How's everything going with you?
Hey, Joseph, it's been a roller coaster for the last couple years, but in 2017, I decided to switch my career from education to mental health, behavioral health. So I was SMI case manager for several years while I went through grad school. So that's serious mental illness individuals who have major depressive disorder or bipolar disorder, or schizophrenia. So that was totally different than working with children and teenagers in the classroom setting. And but my heart was really to help a different population. So I enjoyed my work working with the children who had ADHD or other ailments. I was not a special education teacher, but in my role, I did work with kids with something called a 504 plan so that they had special accommodations at the school. And as you know, ADHD is pretty prevalent. According to 2014, find statistics that 1 in 11 children are diagnosed with ADHD. So
Oh
that's
wow,
really almost 2 or 3 in every classroom. So I went to grad school at GCU for 3 years, and here we are in 2024. And I really like my new career, and I'm doing good.
that's awesome. And how? What make you to transition for teaching to what you're doing now?
I got burned out. I was a teacher for 6 years, doing art and one class of math at a small Christian school in San Francisco. And then I just found myself daydreaming more about the school at large, the operations. How can we make this school better? What can we do outside of the classroom? I got involved in the PTO, the parent teacher organization, and we did an accreditation review, which talks about 5-year plans, 10-year plans. So then after that process, I got into administration. And so I was a dean of students for a couple of years. And then I got my master's degree in education. And then I was an administrator here in Scottsdale for about 6 years. And then I got burned out. So I was ready for a change.
Awesome. And how has been since you decided to change that and help more people? Because you were helping kids, and now you're helping, like I can say, adults and other different kind of people. So how has been that experience for you, and how you feeling now?
It is less stressful. I
Yeah.
don't have 600 people, children to be responsible for. I don't have upset or angry parents at the parking lot or playground or um, um, bullying to deal with. So all those headaches and fires I don't have to deal with anymore. I don't have to deal with the upset customers, so to speak. And so now, for the last 4 years, I've been working in hospitals that do have people in crisis. So
Hmm.
we do have some upset customers, but it's just not the volume. It's just not, 7 different upset customers in one day. It's really just one, maybe two. And then they're in
Yeah,
a
it's
safe setting, right? They are already in a hospital. They're watched 24 hours a day, every 15 minutes. Someone's checking on them. If they're in really bad crisis, they have a shadow, a staff assigned to them 24 hours a day, every minute. So in my role, that takes a lot of pressure off. And then now I've transitioned into just doing group therapy primarily. And I've started my own business for counseling called Richie Mental Health. So that's on the side, but I am taking new clients just for individual, just like this, talking about, hey, what's on your mind? How can I help you? And some people are, really stressed out like I was 10 years
Yeah.
ago. And so
I,
I
I
definitely benefited from talking to counselors.
Yeah, I totally get that. And I understand too. It's for that reason that I start doing what I'm doing now, and I feel way better. And also because I like to help people and tell people and share my experience since I moved to this country. So so I want to ask you, how is your business going, and also like how's everything with you and this? What kind of customer or what kind of clients are you getting?
Sure. Hey, thanks for asking. I've been seeing individual clients since I graduated in 2020. So I've had a variety of 12 years old is the youngest client that I've worked with the ADHD and parenting. And I think I had another little 12-year-old who had death in the one of the parents had passed. So he was seeing me for some grief support. But otherwise, it's mostly middle school, high school, young adults. And then I think the oldest client I've worked with is, I think he was around 60, again, single dad, and had gone through some marital issues and was now on his own, living on his own, and struggling with his ADHD was pretty bad. He had a recent diagnosis and was starting on some medication. So everything in between. It's my ideal client would be a male. I think there's a lot of men that are in the shadows and not seeking help. And being a dad, I had two kids, have two kids. So I really have a heart for husbands, dads, single dads, men going through struggle at work who are not alpha males. I'm not an alpha male. And so we can be timid and passive and sometimes get looked past or become um, just insecure in our work. So I think from my personal experience and then what I've learned through grad school in my studies, I can help somebody kind of branch out, build on their confidence, and advocate for themselves in the workplace or at home.
Because that's good that you said that because understanding you went through to a divorce. How was that, and how that helped you by what you're doing now?
Yeah, Joseph, I grew up going to church as a kid. My parents were married their whole lives. Almost everyone in my family, cousins, aunts, and uncles were married. Maybe there was one divorce in my whole network of family. And then I didn't see it coming, but we had our differences for probably the last 7 to 10 years. We went through counseling and went to church and talked to those pastors to try to get their advice and recommendations. And of course, she and I had many conversations and ebbs and flows, but ultimately in 2022, she felt like, hey, I got to break this cycle. And I know we both had tried to make amends and compromise, but we were really had grown pretty far apart at that time and were going in different directions, to be honest. And so she's a very ambitious person and very successful, and she wanted a different lifestyle. And so I was in a place where a lot of self-reflection on my own part, and I have kind of shed some of the skin of that dysfunctional life. And so last 2023 was a difficult year, the marriage, divorce proceedings, but 2024 I've set up a new normal, as they say.
Yes, and you're normal. And how you doing now? How that been that experience for you, and what do you learn from that?
Um, yeah, I kind of had to start over. So I do have my son with me half the time, 50-50. And so being the mom and the dad sometimes, but he's 15 and a half, so he's pretty independent. But we're kind of that navigating that father-son and roommate situation. But he's pretty good about doing what I ask him to do, and then just starting over in terms of setting up my home and all of those decisions that need to be made for towels and plates and things like that, and um, um, all the responsibilities with the home, taking care of the home. But there is some independence now since I don't have to clear with another person. Hey, what do you think about this? Or we have this bill, and I think finances was a big part of why the divorce ultimately happened. And so now just having my own self to make those decisions is a little more freeing. I'll be honest, and so I got less pressure trying to just live on my own and what I want to do, and so there's less pressure for that, and so I definitely feel a little more independence and freedom.
Oh, that's great. And also now you have more time to like take care of your business.
Yeah, I don't think that was a problem during the marriage. She was always very supportive of my career and was great with the kids. So we were able to, she was an entrepreneur and spent time working on her business. So I kind of learned a little bit from her what that was like um, from the, from starting from scratch. But I'm not under a lot of pressure financially to really make it my main source of means. So thank God.
Yeah.
It's a supplement. It's extra at this time. But Richie Mental Health definitely in the future will be able to see clients for individual counseling like this. But I'm also very excited to branch out into addictions. I think gambling addictions is going to become a big problem since it's so accessible on our phones. And
Yeah.
men, we like sports. And if you have ADHD, you like that risk and that dopamine hit when you win. But unfortunately, as we all know, with gambling, it can become a big, big problem. So I'm
Oh,
looking
yeah.
forward to learning more about that. And then there's also a whole nother treatment therapy called neurobiofeedback. Neurofeedback is something that our children did, and they definitely benefited from it. It's no medication, so it's you could Google that. But the Amen Clinic is something I might recommend, or the Siren Center here in town, if someone is interested in that alternative therapy. It really helped with their concentration, emotion regulation, and I think it's the way of the future, Joseph.
And can you repeat the name? What is the therapy?
It's referred to different ways, but I often say neurofeedback, but I've also heard it called biofeedback. So it's
Mm.
computer based, and it's working with your brain waves on a subconscious level to improve those brain waves that are weak. And so then you get this other brain wave getting generated, started, and then it can really help with the attention. And they're trying to use it in all kinds of different aspects, especially stroke victims and traumatic brain injuries, so that to re-stimulate that part of the brain that's been damaged. And they're seeing
Awesome.
success.
And you don't need medication for that. It's just like how you say computer based. That's great.
Absolutely.
That's great. So I had a
That's
couple
the future.
questions. That's yeah, that's great. That's great because a lot of people like taking so many medication they don't need, and that's a big problem too here in the USA. I think so. And that's great. They we had different options to treat people without medication. That's great. That's great.
Absolutely.
And
And just, I'm sure in your coaching experience, it's the whole body, right? It's the nutrition that we put into our bodies. We're really encouraging omega-3, walnuts, salmon, sushi, Mediterranean diet. I think is much more healthy than the typical things we eat here in the States. But spirituality as well is a big part of how people recover and stay out of trouble. And we know The AA movement is a spiritual, and some people really tap into their faith to help them overcome depression and anxiety. And then we have exercise, right? So
Yeah.
maybe you can tell me what are some exercise routines that have helped you.
Yeah, and I work out 5 days a week. So, and what I'm
Excellent.
doing now is, yes, it's like I do my stretch, my warm up, and then my routine. So I try always to and also to eat healthy, because I always think it's mind and body, they go together. It's your it's you need to be careful what you eat and what you put in your body, because also that's gonna affect your mind too. So, and that's great that you said that, because there's people that think it's just mind or it's just body, but they go together. So it's, you cannot have like a healthy minds, you have like a body that is like all like unhealthy.
I got a question for you. Since you work out so often, and I'm envious and jealous, and maybe I'll start working out more often. But when you walk into the gym and you see all those people, what goes through your mind?
But honestly, I don't pay attention what the people that I see at the gym. I just focus on myself. Yeah,
See, when I
yeah. I
walk
don't. I
in,
don't.
I start to compare myself right away,
Mm-mm.
and then
No.
in a way, there's all these people, right? And I'm kind of newer to the gym. I don't know how long you've
Mm,
been attending and working out and exercising, so maybe I'll get there. But uh, you can be around a lot of people and still feel lonely. Do you know what I mean?
yes.
So I think there's a positive social aspect too from going to the gym and at least seeing a few people, familiar faces, and hey, how you doing? And we could definitely benefit from that as well.
And you can learn also for the people that is over there. They already been working out for a while. Yeah, but I don't compare myself with all those muscular guys that they go to the gym or something like that. I just trying to focus on myself and to achieve my goal, because I know that if I start comparing with myself, I'm gonna feel like, oh, I'm gonna feel bad, and that won't help me. Yeah, and my mental stay, and also and to achieve my goal, because that's gonna make me feel that I'm farther for that. Yeah,
Well,
but
tell
yeah,
me
but
about one of your Joseph.
yep. What you want me to tell you?
Yeah, like in terms of your fitness routine, what is some personal bests that you've been working towards or achieved?
I just for now. Now my goal is like is always to be in a good health condition, like to be healthy. But now I'm just kind of like I want to get more muscle, so I've been eating more protein, and also I'm putting more weight to my. I'm listing like with a heavier weight. So yeah, I'm trying to get a little bit bigger. But also that you said that beside just how we said, I think in your mind and body work together. So I'm also taking my certification to become like a fitness trainer, like a personal trainer, because I want to like get those things together. So, and I'm taking classes to get my certification, and it's gonna be very soon, because
Excellent,
they both
excellent.
together.
I love the fitness trainer role. So encouraging, so optimistic, and obviously, the person who has agreed to work with you has kind of said, "Hey, I want to do this, and I need some guidance." And so then they kind of listen to you, and I think hopefully at some point, they can you can push them. Hey, you can do a couple more, and I think that's something we need outside of ourselves when we start to feel weak and start to give up and say to ourselves, I can't do this anymore. When you have that fitness coach
Hmm.
trainer saying, "Come on, two more, you can do it." I
Yeah,
think
it's
that
feel
really helps.
better. Yeah, I had a trainer before, and it's good. Like when you have somebody that is like giving you that motivation and telling you you can do it. It's in your mind. It's you can do it. So, and that's awesome. It's something that I want to do to like help the people, because sometimes we don't take the first step to like take care of our body because we had that mindset that, oh, my genetic, oh, my family has been always like obese, and and I had to be like that too. And and sometimes it's not that true. It's like that, how to say, that programmation that we had in our head, or like those system belief that we had in our head that make us believe that we have to be in a certain way because our family or for or genetic or the way that we live. But that's not true. So I had a question for you also regard to your what you do and your business. So I want to know more, and I think people would like to know more about ADHD and what is the cause of the people to has ADHD.
Sure. It's ADHD, attention deficit hyperactive disorder. And actually, some experts like Dr. Hallowell don't even like that term. So, but it's really hyper attention to other things, right? It's hard to stay focused on one thing, is really, I think, what the people are experiencing. Now, I have some symptoms of it, but technically I don't qualify to have the diagnosis, but my son does. So that was a big reason why I got into it. We're not sure of the source of the ADHD. We know that more people are diagnosed with it as the years goes on. I think maybe 60 years ago is when it was first identified and started to get some notoriety. And then in the 80s and 90s, we started to give Ritalin to children to help calm them down because they were super hyper and bouncing off the walls and hyper talkative. And for girls, often they're not, sometimes they are, but often they're not as hyper as the boys and not easily seen. But they have lots of racing thoughts and easily distracted from the lessons in the classroom and have a hard time staying focused. But they're not as often diagnosed or observed by their teachers or parents. So we don't know
Okay.
where it comes from, but we're pretty sure it's hereditary. Just like major depressive disorder and schizophrenia, for the most part, we're pretty sure that those are genetic DNA. It's passed down from generation to generation. And according to research, 75% of children will still struggle with it in adulthood, but there's 25% who, when they're mature, their brain is going to focus until they're 25. We know that. And so when they get into their 20s, they kind of develop tips and tricks on how to survive and be functioning and successful. And they don't need medication anymore. But a high population of people in our prison system do have pretty bad ADHD. And so that's driving their impulsivity, right? They're not making the best choices. And then with their emotions, maybe they're making a bad choice to steal something or get into a fight, and then that's causing them to get locked up. So we think it's hereditary for the most part. And then as they continue to do brain scans and see how the brain is stimulated and what brain waves are being utilized most, which ones are strong or which ones are weak, I think the medication is able to, so to speak, help a person slow down. It was found by accident, but they were giving medication to one group of patients, and they noticed, hey, this person is not so hyper. Maybe we should try it out on these other patients. And so I think that's how they stumbled across the stimulants to help the brain actually press the brakes faster, as opposed to a delayed pressing on the brakes to slow down. So I like to say that the person with ADHD is going along on the freeway and they're missing their exits. Whoops, I was supposed to get off back there. So with the medication, it kind of helps them press the brakes to slow down, and then they're able to make their exit that they're supposed to.
So and there's like beside the medication, there's another like alternative like way to treat ADHD.
Well, with my clients, they're pretty high functioning. So they have jobs, careers, families, and they're having a hard time. What they're reporting to me is they're having a hard time staying organized. They're getting easily upset with their emotions. They're forgetting things. And then uh, um, I don't remember the fourth one. But so in my role as the outside person on a weekly basis or twice a week if they want to, we set up easy lists or goals for that week. Okay, I act partly as their accountability partner. Okay, Sam, what are you struggling with this week, or what's on your docket list this week that you really want to work on? And so then Sam will say, hey, you know what? I've had this garage that's been a mess. It's just getting more messy, and I just cannot find myself to start. I don't. Now I'm overwhelmed, and it's causing problems. And so we take a big goal and we break it down into something small, and then I act as their accountability partner. We know you're more likely to follow through on your own ideas. So even with the kids in the classroom who are struggling to keep up with their assignments, I ask them, okay, well, which class do you think you want to work on first, or which assignment, and how much time do you think you could spend today on that assignment? And then they tell me, okay, maybe half an hour, maybe 10 minutes. Okay, great. So when I see you next time, I'll just ask you, how did that go? It was your plan, and so you're more likely to remember it since you generated it, and then you're more likely to follow through because you don't want to let other people down. So we know people are more likely to achieve their goals if we just write them down or they say them to someone. I don't know how it works, but we just don't want to let people down, or I guess that's that pride or social aspect. So, but if we keep our goals to ourselves, we're okay sliding or not
Yeah,
following through.
yeah,
So with my clients,
uh,
we kind of go ahead.
yeah. No, I was saying I've been working on that because it's I don't write down themes. I gonna forget it, and then I won't do it. So it's I just set it in my mind. It's for the reason that I keep my Google Calendar, or I have my notebook always with me.
Awesome, awesome. I love it. Absolutely, the calendar is fantastic, right? But you and I are adults, so kids are not wired for calendars. There's a few very high functioning kids who that does make sense to them, and they can think ahead to next week or next month. But we just know story after story of somebody with ADHD having a hard time planning ahead, procrastinating big time. So what gets someone into gear, right? Often it's a deadline. The test is tomorrow. I got to study now. I can't delay anymore. So that kind of motivates somebody to get into gear. So maybe we can set up our own little deadlines ahead of time. And I know teachers, God bless them, are trying to break those big projects into smaller chunks. And so this week, work on your rough draft. Just come up with your outline. Then next week, okay, good. Now you're going to work on your first paragraph. And then they kind of try to lead the children into that and model for them. And hopefully they can use that kind of concept as adults. But often the real world, as you know, doesn't have nice essays and
No,
things like that. We have to plan our finances and our budgeting and other things. Women, God bless them, have a little better ability to plan ahead than we do as men, and multitask just naturally. So that's one of their strengths. But often women come to me and say, hey, I'm so unorganized and I feel defeated. I can't remember things. I'm forgetting appointments, and I'm burned out. I can't take care of myself because I'm spending time with my children or my husband or my career. And so sometimes we just, again, take that immediate project or task And okay, where do you want to start? And then I can act as your accountability partner. And then me, I kind of can act as that executive functioning person, that objective planning ahead person to say, well, what about next week? What about next month? And if they're not naturally able to think about that, we can kind of just use the session practically and think about that. And so that can kind of help them practice as well. It's literally a muscle that we talk about is just like lifting weights, right?
Mm-hmm.
With your brain, we're trying to practice that forward thinking strategy or skill, right? If the more we practice looking at the calendar, the more it's gonna become automatic. And so for a kid or for a young person, that might not become natural. So in the session, we can practice that. And then also memory, right? Like sometimes kids with ADHD or adults are so in the present. They have a hard time even remembering what happened yesterday, all the details. And so, I can ask them more leading questions about what's going on and tell me more about that and what color was the person wearing, or kind of like try to get some more details. And so that can kind of help their memory recall as well. But just like you said, you use your Google Calendar. We're encouraging people to set up some kind of structures like that, and then you just have to, continually check it.
Yeah, that's great that you say that because it's the same way that I said when you want to achieve your goals. It's like step by step. You have to like take like small goals and then like for 3 months, 2 months, and then the long term goal. So it's step by step, and that way also you're working in one thing. You're not like getting distracted, like working in different things to achieve like a big goal. So and that's still and so there's something that I always say in my videos about is you want to like achieve your goal, you have to focus. Like in now talking about that about the HD, maybe there's a lot of people that struggle to focus to in one thing, or they focus to achieve their goal because they get distracted. So you think that that can be like a symptom of have the HD, or is just like a common thing in the humans, like to
Well,
get distracted?
I think I understand your question. Someone with ADHD can become hyper focused on something that's interesting to them. So, Jill might love working out and is totally motivated to work on her physical fitness and her weight, and loves yoga and loves whatever it is. So that comes easy for her to focus on. But then Jill might have a hard time in other areas of her life, but she still has responsibilities as an adult, right? So she might have a hard time um, um, keeping track of all of the kitchen things, right? And the refrigerator and the recipes and the timing of cooking. She might have a hard time with all that because it's not interesting to her. Let's just microwave stuff, right? So and then she's forgetting things. Milk is still in the car because she forgot to bring it in the second trip. Right? She walked inside her house, something else caught her attention, and then she started doing that, and now the milk is in the car and it's spoiled. So it's those kinds of things that people can get really frustrated on and discouraged, and hopefully the medication can help them. But then we set up visual reminders. We know that in your eyes, in your way, can really help. So people with ADHD are encouraging to set up, post-it notes in their house, or just whatever creative things they can do, like wristbands. We sell. Sometimes they have colored wristbands to
Oh, this
remind
help
them.
a lot.
Exactly.
Yes.
And the phone is great to set alarms so you don't forget to pick up your son at soccer practice or go to a doctor's appointment. And so they can become super hyper focused on things. Kids are often really into their sport or their art or their friends or their video game, and then that kind of becomes their hyper focus, and they forget about these other things, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's great. Now I'm glad that you said that the kids like focus on their video game because I was having a conversation with my cousin. She lives in Spain, and her son is like 15, and she was complaining that he's lazy. He just like want to spend the whole day playing video game. And I say he's not lazy. He's just putting his energy in the video game. So what he has to do is like put that energy in classes or do another thing, and you have to help him, not just like yell at him to say you're lazy, you're lazy. He's not lazy, just his energy and his focus is in his video game. So it's and that's good that you said that because that's true.
Yeah, so the video games are hard to compete with because they have so much action happening within seconds. Several things are happening in the video game. They're probably using their hands to a certain degree or on the computer. And then they have sounds, right? Really exciting sounds. It's hard to compete with that, in the classroom or just reading, unless you're really excited and inspired. So it's a difficult situation we have right now with school versus entertainment. And so, yeah, he probably doesn't want to make his bed or clean up his room or do his chores because they're not fun.
Yeah,
So
that's
he's going to
true.
procrastinate on that. But just a little advice, for you and for any parents out there who are having this uh, hitting head butting with their teens or children. I think I want to encourage parents to say, "Hey, John, you've been on the computer for 2 hours. It's time to take a break. Okay, what can we do together? You know, and then you can get back on to the video game. We have to have a balance, right? And so try to tap into things that they're interested in and make these chores fun. A lot of kids are craving time with other people, with their parents, with their siblings, quality time. So if the parent can also just stop what they're doing and do the cleaning the dishes together or making the bedroom together, okay, good. Now we have a little connection, and that's going to really make it more attractive as opposed to just going in his room all by himself and trying to clean things up and pick up the socks and whatnot. That's not going to be fun. But if mom or dad or whoever is with them just chit chatting while they do it, then it makes it a little more enjoyable. And I love music, so turn on some music to make it more enjoyable too. Another thing that is motivating is rewards. What's a reward that you've given yourself, Joseph, for reaching a goal or not putting off something?
Yeah, when I what I do is I just always congratulate myself, say, "Hey, great job, Joseph," or like it's because I try not to. I like sweet, but I'm not eating sweet right now. But when I will say Saturdays, I buy like a chocolate bar and I eat it because hey, you complete your 5 days at the gym, so you did really good. So this kind of
Awesome.
like help me to keep motivated too, and it's a reward to say, hey, keep doing. It's you have 5 days. If you achieve your goals, if you complete your routine, you're gonna get the chocolate bar that you like it.
Awesome.
So that's that's
So,
that's what I
so
do.
yeah. So whatever works for you, right? I love chocolate as well. We're as adults that we're a little bit better at delaying gratification. But for Junior, who doesn't want to do something, if you and Junior can come up with some kind of prize or reward, it might even be more time on the video game. Okay, let's get this homework done first for 30 minutes. Work on your Spanish homework, and then you can have 30 minutes free time, whatever works for you. But again, try to tap into what the kids um, um, uh, idea is. okay, and what their reward is, and tap into that motivation, because I think that will really make it more practical.
That's great. So yeah, we always have like I celebrate every time, every like small thing that I do. I celebrate myself, I congratulate myself, because this is how to say. I believe that we can do like achieve our goal like taking a small step and or like and I always say in slow process, and also believe in delayed gratification, because before I when I was younger, I was like, I want things right now. I want like the instant gratification. But that instant gratification is gonna have like consequence in the future. So and now I'm working more like delayed gratification. I prefer to do the things now that are not that fun, but it's gonna get me like a reward in the future. So and it's gonna make me feel better in the future.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Well, I think you're in that small percentage of America that has that self-discipline, and particularly, a lot of people have a hard time delaying, but and then they feel guilty for eating the chocolate bar, right? Like my
Yes.
example, Jill, right? She wants to reward herself, but she might be hyper focused on her calories, or she sees the chocolate bar and feels like, oh no, now I'm going to be fat. And so that's something also we have to address in counseling too. Is, hey, you know, um, what are your expectations? What are your fears? What's the worst thing that can happen if you eat that chocolate bar, right? And we have so
Yeah.
much guilt and shame in America and in the world right now, that we're trying to cut yourself some slack. Okay, you deserve
Yeah.
this. Do some self care. We talk about that a lot in the hospital, because we do are very critical of ourselves. We're very hard on ourselves, and then we don't let go of some of that stuff that we've done that we're not proud of. And then so just in counseling, like the fitness trainer, I'm trying to be a cheerleader too, and being encouraging and motivating for them to be proud of your accomplishment today. You got out of bed today, you made your bed, you took a shower. Sometimes it's so simple like that for somebody who has really bad depression or bipolar disorder, to get back on track.
Yeah. That's good that you say that, because when we know we don't achieve our goal, and we like what you said, that lead us to like feel us depressed. So and it's for that reason mostly how to say, most of the American are kind of in, they feel depressed or had a lot of depression, because what they do, because they live in an instant gratification, and then in the future they like kind of like how to say, they worry what is gonna happen in the future, and they worry what is gonna be the consequence of what they do right now, and that lead you to anxiety and then to depression. So
Absolutely.
how can we like address those situations, or how in your perspective in the medical situation, how can we avoid like anxiety and also depression, or what how can we treat that?
Oh, those are good questions. We could spend several sessions, several of these interviews on just anxiety alone. But real briefly, with anxiety, it comes from a fear, right? There's some kind of fear, or the person is born with anxiety, right? They've inherited it from their parents. It's a genetic condition that they have. So they wake up with this electricity, this adrenaline, and they don't have a certain trigger, but they need their medication to calm down. They need to do their quiet time in the morning, or their prayer time or meditation, their deep breathing, to kind of calm that down. And then they have a better chance at success to face the day and the challenges with work or their family and whatnot. But we're really encouraging, and I'll end here with anxiety, is we're really encouraging mindfulness. So if you can imagine a monk sitting on a mountain underneath a tree in China, that's what we're trying to encourage our patients with anxiety to do, is just for 10 minutes, right? Try to not be so wrapped up in the things of this world and try to set yourself up for success and literally take the deep breaths, focus on your breathing, try not to judge all the thoughts that are coming into your mind and try to solve all your problems at the same time, but just focus on your breathing, get in tune with your body, and just for 10 minutes try to calm your body down. It takes practice. It's not easy, especially for someone with ADHD. That can be painful without stimulation and noise and excitement and activity. But with practice, for 5 minutes, then for 10 minutes, then for 15 minutes, then for 20 minutes, you can really settle your heart rate and lower your heart rate. I mean, get more oxygen throughout your body and take your medication and then monitor how much is on your plate, right? I think, again, we have expectations for how much I can achieve today, and that can really make the anxiety go up and up and up. So if we can just set ourselves up for success by having a reasonable goal for the day, achievable, reasonable for this week or just for myself, forgive myself more often, then I think the anxiety is going to go down. And whatever routines you can put in place, exercise is wonderful for anxiety. If we can take care of our body physically with the food that we put into it and we get fresh air on a regular basis, if we get out of the city, for the afternoon and go to some pine trees or get some good, better air, that can really help us on a regular basis. But then we feel bad, right? Because I didn't clean the garage. Well, maybe by taking this break and going up to Payson, now you're going to be more able to tackle that task of the garage. And again, it's overwhelming, right? Where do I begin? I've put off all these things for so long, I don't even know where to begin. So sometimes in counseling, like in this format, we can just start off small. Okay, what part of the garage do you want to start off with? Okay, let's just do that shelf today. How long is that going to take? Okay, maybe 2 hours. Okay, and maybe someone else can just be with you to decide, okay, that should be thrown away. This should be sorted over there. This should be sold. Those kinds of basic questions to help somebody complete that task. And then give yourself a pat on the back when you achieve that project and say, hey, you know what? Yeah, the whole garage is still in disarray, but at least that shelf is organized today, and I feel good about that success. And then I think that can lead to another shelf and another drawer and another part of the garage, and then eventually the car is going to be able to park inside the garage.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah. It's about progress. Yeah. It's about progress. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Steve, for having this conversation with me, and thank you for what you're doing and your service to people. Because I always say that the people that do this, like helping people in their mental health and also to achieve their goal, they're doing a service to the people and to God too. Because our main focus, our main goal always is to be happy in this world and achieve our goals. Thank you so much. But before we end the sessions, I always ask three random questions to my guests here in my podcast. All right. The first one is pretty easy. Is you were elected the president of the universe, not just the country, the universe for one day, and and they say you have to create a law that is gonna last forever. What will be that law?
Hmm. A law for the universe.
Yeah, that's gonna be last forever. You're only gonna be one day as a president.
Okay. Well, it's just for one day.
Yes, you have to create that law that is gonna last forever.
I would say, hey, today, universe, let's have one conversation today where you have to put down your phone and really connect with the other person today and repeat what they're saying or paraphrasing your own words, what they're saying. for that connection, and then ask them, how can I help you today, friend? And then help them with whatever that might be that's reasonable and doable today.
That's great. Yeah, we need that human connection nowadays because we had lose that with our phones and all the technology that we had around. That's great. Awesome. So, and my next question is, when was the last time that you did something for first time?
Um, my son bought me a deep fat fryer for the house. So we got a ton of oil from the store and we filled it up with oil, and then we fried chicken. And I had never done that before, didn't grow up eating fried chicken. And so that has been a fun new activity that we've been doing the last few months.
Nice, awesome, and you're having fun with that. That's good. So, and my last question is, this one is, which book do you recommend to anybody to read? That book that you say, oh, this book changed my life, and I would like you to read it too.
Well, I want to encourage, I'm a Christian, so that works for me. I do believe that Jesus died for my sins and has forgiven me, and I've found a ton of inspiration and support from reading the Bible. And if you're going to start reading the Bible somewhere, I would encourage reading the book of Mark in the New Testament. That's going to help you understand the highlights of Jesus's ministry and get some good overview of his teachings. But besides the Bible, a book that's changed my life, I would say it's by a Christian author named John Ortberg, and it's titled "The Life You've Always Wanted."
You like to, well, this sounds
And
good.
so it's
You're gonna
about
put it in my bucket list.
yeah, it's about spiritual disciplines. And so I would definitely recommend someone reading The Life You've Always Wanted. And in a way, it's not forcing you to be more disciplined. It's kind of cutting yourself some more slack and lowering those expectations and living in the moment day by day, because God doesn't want us to be stressed out all the time. He wants us to rely on him to be with us in this journey. And so we're not God, and he can do much more than we can. And so that was a really excellent book that I read probably 25 years ago, that The Life You've Always Wanted by John Ortberg.
All right, I'm gonna put it here for sure. Yeah, awesome. Thank you. So, and how can we support you, Steve? Where can
Oh,
we
well,
find you?
check out richiementalhealth.com.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm
Um,
gonna put it over here like that. Your
excellent.
website. Do you have social media like Facebook, Instagram?
Yeah, there's a richiementalhealth.com Facebook page at this time. But yeah, would love some more traffic and clients. Again, all ages from ages 12 to 85, I think, would be a good client for me. Career counseling is another one of my passions. ADHD that we talked about, and bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, and addictions is something I really want to help people with.
That's awesome. I want to say thank you again for accepting my invitation. Thank you for contacting me. I think you got always like put the right person in your way when you're doing the right thing. And I thank you so much. Appreciate it. And I'm looking for like to do more stuff with you. And I would like also to have like a just one episode about anxiety, because think he does a lot of like that people suffer here in the United States and around the world. So thank you so much, Steve, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day and had a happy Labor Day.
You too, Joseph. Thank you, and thanks for what you're doing for
Thank
our
you.
community. We need more people like you to be cheerleaders and encouragers and helpful people. There's too much isolation and discouragement out there, so we need more life coaches and helpful friends. And you're an inspiring story for all of us.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you, and thank you, you guys, for watching our episode and listen our podcast, this episode. And just remember, subscribe to my channel. And also like you can find me on Facebook, and we are on Spotify too. So thank you. We'll see you. Thank you, Steve, and see you next time.
All right. Bye bye, Joseph.
So grateful, yeah. Thank you for the laughter, thank you for the tears, thank you for the moments that we hold dear, thank you for the love, thank you for the light.